ladies here can do the Uludani?
Can the ladies here, can they do Ulundani?
Those from foreign lands, they should learn how to do this.
They should learn how to do this.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was praising how the ladies received the Harinam Sankirtan with Uludani.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was praising how the ladies, they received Harinam Sankirtan with Ulundani.
But the men, they can also do Haridwani.
But the men, they can also do Haridwani.
The ladies can also do Haridwani.
Of course, the ladies can also do Haridwani.
But the men cannot do Uludani.
But the men cannot do Uludani.
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sangayatayam Yakipatamahan Mande Sivandikanam Paramanandamadhavam Sitaitanesham Harium Tatsat. So, we heard how yesterday
So we heard how yesterday
Lord Chaitanya descended from the spiritual world
how Lord Chaitanya descended from the spiritual world,
and he is Krishna himself,
and he is Krishna himself,
but in the mood of a devotee.
but in the mood of a devotee.
So no one can call him Krishna.
So no one can call him Krishna.
If they call him Krishna,
If they call him Krishna,
he would cover his ears
he would cover his ears
and say, no, no,
and he would say, no, no,
I am simply a devotee.
I am simply a devotee.
So this place of Mayapur
So this place, Mayapur,
is not different from Vrindavan.
is not different from Vrindavan.
Here there's a direct gateway back to the Goloka Vrindavan.
Here there is a direct gateway back to Goloka Vrindavan,
And that is opened by Lord Chaitanya.
and that is opened by Lord Chaitanya.
And for us, that was reopened by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami.
And for us, that was reopened by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami.
Bhagavati. So those who come to Mayapur Dham,
So those who come to Mayapur Dham,
they can easily transfer themselves to the spiritual world.
they can easily transfer themselves to the spiritual world.
I was with Prabhupada
I was with Prabhupada
when he went to his room,
when he went to his room.
and there he had a golden goblet,
There he had a golden goblet
and he drank some water.
and he drank some water.
He drank it on high up,
He drank.
And drank it high up
without touching.
without touching.
He drank Mayapur.
He said, Mayapur.
Living or dying at Mayapur,
Living or dying in Mayapur
it's all the same.
is all the same.
That sounded a bit unusual.
That sounded a bit unusual.
So in my normal Buddhist state, I asked Prabhupada, what does that mean?
According to
In my normal foolish state,
in my normal foolish state, I asked Prabhupada, what does that mean?
and Prabhupada said, you live here, you're in the holy Dham,
Prabhupada said, you live here, you're in the holy Dham,
and you die here,
and you die
you
here,
go back to Godhead.
you go back to Godhead.
Haribol. So, on the earth that we see,
So on the earth that we see,
the Navadvip Dham
the Navadvip Dham
has a circumference
has a circumference
of about 32 kroshas.
of about 22 kroshas.
32.
32 kroshas.
That's about 32 times 2.8, how much is it?
32 times 2.8.
I got money changes now. So more or less, a little more than 64.
Well, it is definitely more than 64.
Anyway, so we go walking around the 9 islands,
We can go walking around the 9 islands,
and it's within the possibility of walking.
and it is within the possibility of walking.
Some Gaudiya
Some Gaudiya Mats,
every day walk to one island and walk back.
they walk to one island and they walk back.
That's a bit strenuous.
That's a bit strenuous.
We walk from one island to the next.
We walk from one island to the next.
Like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did,
Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did,
like Lord Nityananda did,
like Lord Nityananda did,
with Jiva Swami,
with Jiva Goswami,
like Bhakti Thakur did.
like Bhaktivinoda Thakur did.
So, we camp out
And we camp out
in the different islands.
in the different islands.
Of course, some people choose to come back to Mayapur
Of course, some people choose to come back to Mayapur
by bus.
by bus.
So you drive up and down by bus,
So whether you drive up and down by bus
or you stay over in the campsites,
or you stay over in the campsites,
you're in a spiritual world.
you are in the spiritual world.
When Lord Chaitanya was in the womb of Mother Sachi,
When Lord Chaitanya was in the womb of Mother Sachi,
at that time, different devas,
at that time different devas,
angels from the celestial planets,
angels from the celestial planets,
they came to have darshan
they came to have darshan
and offer their prayers.
and offer their prayers.
So they saw Mother Sachi as exceedingly effulgent,
So they saw Mother Sachi as exceedingly effulgent,
and they were offering their prayers.
and they were offering their prayers.
Oh dear Lord Chaitanya,
Oh dear Lord Chaitanya,
we know that you are coming
we know that you are coming
to deliver the fallen souls.
to deliver the fallen souls.
You are coming to give out
You're coming to give out
pure love of Krishna.
pure love of Krishna.
We are your devotees
We are your devotees
from the celestial planets,
from the celestial planets,
but we do not want any material benediction.
but we do not want any material benediction.
And the celestial planets, we have already enough
In the celestial planets, we already have enough
material enjoyment.
material enjoyment.
In fact, too much.
In fact, too much.
But this distracts us
And this distracts us
from practicing devotional service.
from practicing devotional service.
Instead,
Instead,
we are absorbed
we are absorbed
in enjoying the senses.
We are absorbed in enjoying the senses.
We only have two problems.
We only have two problems.
One is sometimes we get attacked
One is that sometimes we get attacked
by demons
by demons
who try to take over the celestial heavens.
who try to take over the celestial heavens.
And we have to fight with them.
And we have to fight with them.
Sometimes
And sometimes
we get injured
we get injured
or die.
or die.
So that's one of our problems.
That's one of our problems.
The second problem
The second problem
is there's so much sense gratification
is that there is so much sense gratification
that we forget
that we forget
about your loving service.
about your loving service.
And we get totally distracted.
And we get totally distracted.
So please have mercy on us
So please have mercy on us
that we can be absorbed in your pure devotional service.
that we can be absorbed in your pure devotional service.
So this was their heartfelt prayer.
So this was their heartfelt prayer.
And so normally they're invisible
Normally they are invisible
to human beings.
to human beings.
But Lord Chaitanya gave his mother
But Lord Chaitanya gave his mother
title of Divya Drishti,
Divya Drishti,
where she could see the shadows.
by which she could see the shadows.
And then she reacted.
And then she reacted.
She started to say Narasimha prayers.
She started to say the Narasimha prayers.
And they could tell that somehow she knew they were there.
And they could tell that somehow she knew that they were there.
And they knew that this was done by Lord Chaitanya.
And they knew that this was done by Lord Chaitanya.
So they hid away.
So they hid away.
So some people who don't finish their Krishna consciousness,
who don't finish their Krishna consciousness,
it says they get various consolation prizes.
it says that they get various consolation prizes.
One is to be born on the celestial planets,
One is to be born on the celestial planets,
or to be born in heaven.
or to be born in heaven.
Same thing.
Same thing.
But we can see
But we can see
that not something a devotee wants.
But we can see that that is not something that a devotee wants.
That's what you get for good karma.
That's what you get for good karma.
But the devotee wants to serve the Lord.
But devotee wants to serve the Lord.
And I made a drama of this,
I made a drama of this,
which they performed in Brazil,
which they performed in Brazil,
somewhere else.
somewhere else.
I forget now.
I forget now.
So I'll tell Bhakti Maharaj,
So I'll tell Bhakti Maharaj
see if he likes it.
to see if he likes it.
Anyway, The other thing is he's born in a family
The other thing is to be born in a family
of rich merchants. The best birth is to be born
And the best birth is to be born
in a family of yogis,
in a family of yogis,
especially bhakti yogis.
especially bhakti yogis.
So, our grihastas have a very great
So our grihastas have a very great seva
to bring up Krishna conscious children.
to bring up Krishna conscious children.
In case we don't make it,
In case we don't make it,
then if we can be born in a family of devotee parents,
then if we can be born in a family of devotee parents
brought up in Krishna consciousness,
and brought up in Krishna consciousness,
that would be very good.
that would be very good.
And we can finish our business
We can finish our business
in one life.
in one life.
If we are a little serious.
If we are a little serious.
So, there's an interesting,
There's an interesting,
and this is interesting,
this is interesting,
how taking birth in the heavenly planets
how taking birth in the heavenly planets
is considered
is considered
by devotees
by devotees
as something not
as something not
very useful.
very useful.
So, we find all the acharyas,
We find that all the acharyas,
they pray,
they pray
and if they're not qualified
that if they are not qualified
to enter the Lord's pastime,
to enter into the Lord's pastimes,
that they could be born in a family of devotees.
they could be born in a family of devotees.
Haribo. So, Prabhupada, he said that
So Prabhupada, he said that
the children that are sent to us
the children that are sent to us
are sent by Krishna.
are sent by Krishna,
And actually, are meant to go back to Godhead.
and actually they are meant to go back to Godhead.
They're Vaikuntha kids.
They are Vaikuntha kids.
So it's a very great responsibility
So it is a very great responsibility
our grihastas have
our grihastas have
to raise a child
to raise a child
as a devotee.
as a devotee.
Of course, also, like Prabhupada said,
Of course, they have to also, like Prabhupada said,
raise your child so that
raise your child so that
he's very attached to the parents.
we get very attached to the parents.
And thus, when the parents give him or her Krishna consciousness,
And thus when the parents give him or her Krishna consciousness,
they'll accept
they will accept
because of their relationship with the parents.
because of their relationship with their parents.
Prabhupada revealed that
Prabhupada revealed that
as a child,
as a child,
he had his own deities,
he had his own deities,
and he used to worship his deities.
and he used to worship his deities.
While his father would worship the installed deities,
His father would worship the installed deities,
and he would worship his play deities.
and he would worship his play deities.
And when he entered into college,
And when he entered into college,
he gave his practice deities
he gave his practice deities
to his sister,
to his sister,
who we used to call as Pichima or Andy.
who we used to call as Pisima or Auntie.
when I came to Calcutta
When I came to Calcutta
in 1970,
in 1970,
she would invite us over.
she would invite us over,
Achyutananda Das and myself,
Achyutananda Das and myself,
and give us prasadam.
and give us prasadam.
She was a very expert cook,
She was a very expert cook,
and we saw the deities that Prabhupada had given her.
and we saw the deities that Prabhupada had given her. One time,
So Prabhupada
Srila Prabhupada had
had diarrhea,
diarrhea,
dysentery,
dysentery,
and he asked his sister to make
and he asked his sister to make
puris
puris
with powdered sugar. Powdered sugar.
with powdered sugar.
I wondered, how is that good for dysentery?
I wondered, how is that good for dysentery? Somehow,
It cured Prabhupada.
cured Prabhupada.
So she had magic preparations,
So she had magic preparations,
piping hot puris,
piping hot puris,
cured dysentery.
and cured dysentery.
Was one. So
First one.
one time there was a dark blue velvet curtain
Once there was a dark blue velvet curtain
across the window where Prabhupada was staying,
across the window where Prabhupada was staying.
and then he said that this curtain is attracting mosquitoes.
And he said that this curtain is attracting mosquitoes.
And then a devotee came in the room
And a devotee came into the room
with some mosquito killing repellent
with some mosquito killing repellent
and started spraying.
and started spraying.
Prabhupada said, "You rascal,
Prabhupada said, "You rascal,
you have a curtain
you have a curtain
to attract mosquitoes,
to attract mosquitoes
and you kill them."
and you kill them.
What is this?
So what is this?
One time,
One time,
the Home Minister,
the Home Minister,
Kanti Ghosh,
Tarun Kanti Ghosh,
he came, and then while I was there,
while I was there,
he went up to Prabhupada,
he went up to Prabhupada
put his head on the lotus feet of Prabhupada.
and put his head on the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Brahmananda
Was ready to punch him.
was ready to punch him. Prabhupada said no.
I was the Home Minister in charge of police.
He's the Home Minister in charge of the police.
So his grandfather
So his grandfather
was a famous Vaishnava,
was a famous Vaishnava,
and he once came to Mayapur
and he once came to Mayapur
by helicopter.
by helicopter.
So Prabhupada was very happy
So Prabhupada is very happy because
many people came to see all the helicopter.
Came to see the helicopter.
Prabhupada wanted to popularize Mayapur by any means.
Prabhupada wanted to popularize Mayapur by any means.
So one time, Prabhupada was sitting in his room.
One time Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his room.
It was the Annakut.
It was the day of the Annakut,
The Govardhan Puja.
the Golden Puja.
There was a big mountain of rice
There is a big mountain of rice
that they had made,
that they had made,
and they gave out
and they gave out
sumptuous prasadam
sumptuous prasadam
to 25,000 people.
25,000 people.
So then Prabhupada heard
So then Prabhupada heard
some dogs barking.
some dogs barking,
He went over the veranda
and he went over the veranda
and looked,
and looked,
and I accompanied him.
and I accompanied him.
There he saw
And there he saw
some village kids.
some village kids.
They were eating
They were eating.
off the throne plates
They were eating off the throne plates
with one hand,
with one hand,
and with the other hand
and with the other hand
had a stick.
they had a stick,
They were fending off
and they were fending off
local dogs.
local dogs.
Prabhupada saw this.
When Prabhupada saw this,
He started crying.
he started to cry.
See how hungry they must be.
See how hungry they must be.
They're eating the uchista,
They're eating the uchishta,
the remnants,
the remnants,
that which is thrown out.
that which is thrown out.
They're fighting with dogs.
And they're fighting with dogs.
I want that you arrange
I want that you arrange
that no one goes hungry
no one goes hungry
within a 10-kilometer radius.
within a 10-kilometer radius.
Parvati! 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 Every moment with Prabhupada was
So every moment with Prabhupada was
something very dynamic and very moving.
something very dynamic and something very moving.
Whether he was receiving a minister or whether he was arranging food for life,
Whether he was receiving a minister or whether he was arranging food for life
for the children.
for the children.
He was always doing something
And he was always doing something
to spread Krishna consciousness.
to spread Krishna consciousness.
One day the local Muslims
One day the local Muslims
wanted to give Prabhupada a demonstration
wanted to give Prabhupada a demonstration
of their stick fighting ability.
of their stick fighting abilities.
And they had a drama
And they had a drama
called Armed Robbery.
called Armed Robbery,
Dacoity.
Dacoity.
So there is a background of music.
There with that kind of music,
They had a drama
they had a drama
where some people were attacked by another group of people,
where some people were attacked by another group of people.
and those who were playing the part of dacoits
And those who were playing the part of dacoits
filled their mouth up with kerosene,
filled their mouth up with kerosene
blew on a flame,
and blew out a flame
blew on a flame,
and blew on a flame.
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 Flame. Flame.
So a flame would go into the air.
And the flame would go out in the air.
They're dancing and twirling their sticks.
They were dancing and twirling their sticks.
But somehow
somehow
Prabhupada just engaged in some kind of seva.
but Prabhupada just to engage them in some kind of seva,
He stood on the veranda and
he stood on the veranda
saw them
and saw them
do their dacoity dance.
through their dacoity dance.
So this way, he was friends with everyone.
And so in this way, he was friends with everyone.
He was someone that every day from 4 to 6, he was accessible. Anyone could see him.
He was someone that from 4 to 6, every day he was accessible. Anyone could go and see him.
Sometimes was the chief officer of the police.
Sometimes the chief officer of the police,
Sometimes some village leader.
sometimes a village leader,
Different people came to see him.
different people came to see him.
One day, Subal Maharaj's mother came,
One day Subhat Maharaj's mother came
and she was crying.
and she was crying.
I need my son back.
I need my son back.
I can't live without my son.
I can't live without my son.
He started rolling on the ground.
And started rolling on the ground.
Prabhupada told us
Prabhupada had told us
about Bengali mothers.
about Bengali mothers.
And there we were seeing one.
And there we were seeing one.
So emotional.
So emotional.
Then Prabhupada said,
Then Prabhupada said,
I'm not giving you a son.
I am not keeping your son.
You can have him.
You can have him.
Really?
Really?
Sure, I'm not keeping him.
Sure, I am not keeping him.
I can take him.
I can take him?
Sure.
Sure.
Subal Maharaj, do you want to go?
Subhat Maharaj, you want to go?
He said, no.
No.
Prabhupada was understood how to deal in different situations.
Prabhupada was expert in how to deal with different situations.
One day the local youth,
One day the local youth,
they came up.
they came up.
I said, we're doing Kali Puja, we want donation.
We're doing Kali Puja, we want donations.
I'll call the secretary.
Prabhupada called the secretary.
He whispered in his ear. He whispered in his ear.
He whispered in his ear,
Put 10 rupees in an envelope.
put 10 rupees in an envelope,
Give me.
and give it to them.
They took the envelope
And they took the envelope and went away.
So, when it was fruitless to argue and when to give something,
When it was fruitless to argue, and when you have to give something,
that he knew.
that he knew.
I've seen this quality
I'd seen this quality
in Canada.
in Canada.
We were invited to come
We were invited to come
to the World Fair.
to the World Fair.
There, they assigned some French-Canadian lady
There they assigned some French-Canadian lady
to take us on a tour.
to take us on a tour.
So they had a special monorail, which was something new in the world.
So they had a special monorail, which is something new in the world.
But she was sitting
She was sitting
She was a little uptight.
She was a little uptight.
Because there's one old Indian,
Here is an old Indian,
whereas young Canadians and young Americans,
whereas we are young Canadians and Americans,
all shaved up.
all shaved up.
So you're from some other planet.
So you're from some other planet.
She's the one speaking, the one speaking.
She's the one speaking, and
No, she wasn't speaking.
she wasn't speaking, and we are the ones speaking.
We weren't speaking
We
either.
weren't speaking either.
All of a sudden,
Prabhupada said,
oh, you have such nice hair.
"Oh, you have such nice hair."
Oh, thank you. He broke the ice.
So he broke the ice.
So I saw that Prabhupada was very expert
So I saw that Prabhupada is very expert
how to deal in different situations.
how to deal in different situations.
So he was so kind.
So he was so kind.
He wanted all the devotees
He wanted all the devotees
to come here to Mayapur Dham
to come here to Mayapur Dham
and to enjoy
and to enjoy it,
the spiritual world
the spiritual world
on earth.
on earth.
In Mayapur,
In Mayapur,
it's very easy to awaken
it's very easy to awaken
a natural affection and love for Krishna.
your natural affection and love for Krishna.
So we hope that everybody
So we hope that everybody
during the Sravana melas,
during the Shravan melas,
Kirtan melas,
Kirtan mela,
Mahabhishekas,
Mahabhishekas,
Vikramas,
Parikramas,
festivities,
festivities,
you all feel
that you'll all feel
closer to Lord Chaitanya.
closer to Lord Chaitanya.
Are you feeling
Are you,
closer?
are you feeling closer?
Are you feeling closer to Srila Prabhupada?
Are you feeling closer to Srila Prabhupada? Yesterday I told how
Srila
Prabhupada
he was on really different pastimes in Mayapur.
had many different pastimes in Mayapur.
He said that
But he said that
if he would have a direct path
if you could have a direct path
to the Ganges,
to the Ganges,
he would stay here.
he would stay here.
So that big impetus.
So that gave us a big impetus.
We tried to get some pathway to the Ganges,
We tried to get some pathway to the Ganges.
but there's always one or two plots in the way.
But there were always one or two plots in the way.
One day Prabhupada, he walked to the Ganges.
One day Prabhupada, he walked to the Ganges
There's about 10 or 15 sannyasis and brahmacharis and
with 10
devotees.
or 15 sannyasis, brahmacharis and devotees.
So he looked around.
So he looked around.
He said, "There's no ladies here.
There are no ladies here.
Let's take a bath
Let's take a bath
in the Ganges."
in the Ganges.
And the Prabhupada, we have no bathing. He said, "No, he said, the ladies."
So then we said, Prabhupada, we have no bathing gear. And Prabhupada said, anyway, there are no ladies here.
So he wore the upper piece of his cloth,
So he wore the upper piece of his cloth,
and other devotees wore upper pieces, and they all went into the Ganges. Prabhupada didn't know swimming, but he knew how to dip.
but he knew how to dip.
So he dipped ceremoniously
in the Ganges.
And we all bathed in the Ganges. One person started getting a bit frivolous.
One person started getting a bit frivolous
and started to
splash Prabhupada.
But he just cautioned.
So he just cautioned.
He gave a look.
That was enough. By His mercy,
and also purified the holy rivers.
By His mercy, He also purified the holy rivers.
Now the Ganges has come very close.
Now the Ganges has come very close.
Now we have a direct path to the Ganges.
Now we have a direct path to the Ganges.
Prabhupada's already gone back.
But Prabhupada has already gone back.
Every year we take the Murti and we bathe it.
So we can take His Murti and bathe Him.
So this is our seva.
So this is our seva.
We also worship the deity of the Ganges.
We also worship the deity of the Ganges.
And those who have ashes
And those who have ashes
for the departed souls, we take those and perform a submersion. So like this, there are various festivities in Mayapur. And I couldn't remember how Prabhupada would do these different activities.
And I could remember how Prabhupada would do these different activities.
So he wants you all to also perform these transcendental activities.
So he also performed these transcendental activities.
He also wanted you to perform these activities. So I thank you all for your participation and your attention. And tonight I spoke a little bit about Prabhupada. In relation to Lord Chaitanya.
In addition to Lord Chaitanya.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.